you to write things out, and then we'll go through them as a class. So if you can write on the back of this, if you need a pencil or a pen, or you can do it on your computer, I guess, on a notepad or scratch pad as well. So that's our approach today. Any questions before we start? Okay. So the reason why I didn't post them, because I think there's a way you can do it, but I couldn't figure it out before class, is that I have given you exercises in the PowerPoint, and then I follow up with the answers. So I don't want you to see the answers, I want you to try them, and then we'll go through. So that's why I'll post it afterwards. I think I can hide certain slides from you, but I just wasn't there. Okay. So let's look at these. These are some body structure terms. Let's just kind of go through them. Combining forms I've given you, word root would be the part without the O's in all this case. So adeno is gland, generic for gland. So adenitis would be what we would mean by that term?
Inflammation of the
Gland, just very general, okay?
Removal of a gland.
Yes, removal of a gland. Epithelial, there's only about one word. We don't have that many words that use this combining form, but it's referring to the epithelium of the skin. Fiber is, you'll see it in these types of words. Fibroblast, anybody take a stab at that word? What's a blast?
So
Immature cell.
It's usually a very early progenitor cell. So a fibroblast is a cell that usually will give rise to fiber type cells down the road. Fibrous means what? Pertaining to fiber. Fibrinous, same thing, same term. Histology or histo means refers to tissue. Robin Paul will be talking about that on Friday. That'll be your introduction to histology. So histology is what? Histo is tissue. Ology is study of tissue. Histocompatibility would be another common term. Karyo refers to the nucleus, usually in the cell. So karyotic cells are nucleated cells. Karyolytic would mean what?
cell
Lytic
lysing.
is
Lysing.
lysed, destroyed. Lipo, like fat. That's a very generic term. Sometimes we use it to refer to specific type of fats, like lipids, or we can use it for very generic terms. So here you see lipoid, that would mean what? Oid refers to
Resembling.
like. So lipoid, something that's lipoid is like fat. It may not be fat, but maybe it has fat in its appearance and its histology, something along that line. Lipoatrophy, you want to take a word, stab at that?
Well, death of fat cells.
Atrophy means it shrinks, withers,
shrinks.
declines. So lipoatrophy, a fat that is shrunk or is degrading. Lipids, we use it as a general term to refer to all like cholesterol type fats in the body or in the blood. Lipoma would be what?
Tumor of the fat.
A growth, fatty growth. Myo, very common, muscle. So myoglobin, protein in the muscle. Leiomyoma. We'll get down to lyo. So myoma, lyo, it's not on this one, it's on another slide. So lyo means smooth. So it tells you what type of muscle it is. So it's a smooth muscle tumor, common in the uterus, in the smooth muscle of the uterus. Myositis,
Inflammation of the muscle cell.
Myocardium,
My heart muscle.
cardiac muscle. So here you're starting to see two word roots, myo and cardio, and then the IUM is referring to or pertaining to. Myotomy,
Removal of muscle.
Okay. Neuro, nerve. So neurology would be what?
Study of nerves.
Study of nerves. Neural,
Pertaining
pertaining
to
to nerves,
nerves.
yes.
A quick question, on the otomies, both times you said it's removal of, but the word that we got is ectomy?
Ectomy, incision into is otomy.
Okay, so, just clarification.
And those should be differentiated, you're right.
No, wait, what?
Nervous would be what?
Neuro?
Pardon?
Neuro?
Say it again.
Nervous is neuro?
Nervous is pertaining to nerves.
Oh, okay, I got you.
We don't use it quite like that, but that would be the literal breakdown. Neuritis,
Inflammation of the
inflammation
nerves.
of nerves. Okay. Organ, organo, organelles, what are those?
Cell bodies.
L's we haven't done, that's tiny organ-like structures in the cell. Sarco, flesh, connective tissue. So a sarcomere, we haven't done that. Sarcoma,
Tumor.
tumor of connective tissue. Sarcoidosis, what's osis?
Condition, yeah.
Okay, and oid would be what?
Like,
Like, so a connective tissue-like condition, disease. System is self-explanatory. Visceral or viscero, internal organs, so visceral pertaining to internal organs, viscera, same thing. Okay, questions about those? Okay, I want you to go through these and construct a term, and then we'll go through them in class. So tumor of the gland, study of cells, pain of muscle fibers. Some of these may go back to terms we used in the first class. Tissue cell, large nucleated cell, production of new fats, inflammation of heart muscle, disease of nerves, large organ, connective tissue, tumor. Everybody have something to write with? Okay, how are you coming? Just about done?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody need more time? Okay, go ahead. Okay, let's go through them. All right, tumor of the gland. Who has that one?
Adenoma.
Say it again.
Adenoma.
Adenoma? Anybody get something different? Okay, adenoma. So aden or aden gland, your root word, oma, tumor. So a tumor of the gland. Any questions about that one? Okay. Let's see. What's the next word?
Study of cells.
Study of cells. So what's that one?
Cytology.
Cytology. Okay. Very good. So here, your root word cyte, or for cell, and ology, study of your suffix, so cytology. Stop me if you're not sure. So pain of muscle fibers. Okay.
Myalgia.
So you have fiber, you have muscle, and you have algia. So you have two root words. If I ever give you a word with two root words, I will usually ask you, what is the first one, or what is the second one? So I'll indicate. So you've got fibromyalgia, so fiber, muscle, and one of the words for pain. Okay?
How do you know what order to put those in?
Some of it you will learn as you go along. So if you said fibromyalgia, it doesn't flow as well. People don't use it in that way. It wouldn't be wrong. People would know what you were talking about. It's just not the usual way we express it. So some of it you'll learn through just common use.
What about like myofibra?
Good. So what I would look at is what is going to modify what. So sometimes it's going to be pattern of speech that would be. Myo often will go in the middle. If you've got several things that are going to modify it, it usually is your main root word. So some of it, again, order will become through common usage. If you did it the other way, early on, I probably wouldn't count it off, but I would correct you. How's that? Okay. Next one is tissue cell, so histocyte. Okay. Here, cyte becomes a suffix. So histo is tissue, and then your word for cell. Large nucleated cell. Okay. So mega, our term for enlarged or large. Karyo, our nucleo, or nucleated, and then cyte, our cell. So megakaryocyte, yes. Zach.
Will there be a difference between, like, how do you know when to use mega versus megalo versus, what was the
Okay,
other
so
one?
what did the rules say? So go back, there's a rule that governs this. Oh, you're saying whether to use megalo or mega?
Yeah,
Again, it will come through usage, common usage.
So if we were to put like a macro karyocyte, that you would you count that wrong?
Macro could be used. Macro could be used. Macrokaryocyte. Megalo wouldn't be wrong, it's just not used. So the common term would be a megakaryocyte. Macrokaryocyte is also acceptable. Sorry I don't mean to be contrary, some of it will just be through as we go through it. Production of new fats. Okay, so lipo or lipo being your combining form, genesis meaning something that's newly produced. So you do this every day, lipogenesis from the foods that you eat.
I have a question on that one, on the new, because neo means new, so would you,
No, because it's inferred in the genesis part. So
Okay.
genesis, something newly created, and creation words would usually tie to genesis. Okay, so tell me how you did it. Neo, lipo,
yeah, neo-lipogenesis.
Genesis,
Yeah.
it's redundant. You wouldn't do neo and genesis, usually in the first same word.
Okay.
So for new production, genesis would be the word usually. Good catch. Very good questions, you're doing well. Inflammation of the heart muscle.
myocarditis.
Okay, so here the myo comes first. Myocardium is usually the way we will do it. We don't usually do cardiomyi, it's just the way that it's done. Myocard and itis. Okay, so two root words.
Question.
Yeah.
Back to the redundancy, the heart being a muscle, carditis.
Carditis, no, because you're telling of what part of the heart.
Okay,
Because the heart's made up of more than just muscle.
gotcha.
Good term, good. You make me think on my feet. Disease of nerves. Oh, go ahead. You want
Oh
to
no,
go?
this is like rewinding. Is there, would there be a difference between, let's say, lipogenesis and like adipogenesis?
That's adipose tissue, though.
Right, okay.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so there's a difference. So fat production is usually the work of the liver. The liver makes new fats, new lipids. Takes what you eat, produces cholesterol, APO, APE, triglycerides, all of that. So that's the work usually of the liver's production capacity or production jobs. Adipose, the other is you're talking about the creation of adipose tissue. Not a word that you can use, but not very common. Not very common. So fats that are produced, the adipose tissue doesn't really create new fat. It's storage. It's just storage capacity. It has the ability to produce hormones that will then direct other organs to do something different. But it really, in my mind, where's the dietitian? So do you have any other thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I agree, it's more storage of fat, so, I mean, we would always just talk about lipogenesis. Not, I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not, I mean, it's a term that you would know what it meant, but it's not really
Used.
used. Because it's not really what adipose tissue does.
And what was the term you used there?
Oedipa Genesis.
Okay.
So he used the root word for adipose tissue. So that would mean the creation of new adipose tissue. So in this case, it is the creation of fats, not what the adipose tissue does. Some of these will become very common in context. So as you start to use them, they will make sense. And you'll see them over and over again, so you will start to pick up on that's how we term it or use it. Large organ, organomegaly. We would not say macro organ. It might mean it, but it's a nonsense word. Jenna, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to try your name, so correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. Oh, we didn't. Okay, I'll go back to it. Pardon?
Neurosis.
Neurosis, so what's osis? It's a disease or a condition, right? So, so if you're talking about the disease of nerves, you would use the term neuropathy. Neurosis, you could. Neurosis usually is referring to a condition of the nerves, not so much disease of the nerves. Very good. Any questions on this list?
Doesn't megaly mean to enlarge though? So wouldn't that be like an enlarged organ, not a large organ?
I think that from your standpoint, that makes sense. To someone who is more experienced, the difference is not appreciable. But from what you're saying, yes, yes.
Okay,
So megaly usually is an enlarged organ.
okay.
So at your level of understanding, you're correct.
Okay.
But I'm saying other people would not discriminate between enlarged and large.
Okay.
I guess you could draw a fine line. Someone could have a large organ that was anatomically normal, and an enlarged would mean an abnormal state.
Right.
Okay. All right, very good. All right, let's go to the next. Oh, we had one more. Connective tissue tumor. Sarcoma. Questions about those? We might do it differently. Okay. Okay, some other structure or some other word roots, combining forms are listed here. So etiology, about the only time you see it is etiology, would be cause of disease. We use that a lot. It's one of the kind of the basic things you will learn about all diseases is what causes it, so the etiology. Here's lyo, so lyo refers to smooth. You see down two more, there's rhabdo that refers to striated, so we use it often in combination with muscle tones. Okay. So rhabdo, striated muscle, lyo, smooth muscle, pointed out cardio muscle, cardiac. Onco is another term that can be used for tumor or mass. Usually infers cancer. So oncology, study of, oncologist, a physician who specializes in the treatment of tumors, cancers. Oncogene, a gene that is related to a cancer function. Rhabdomyolysis or rhabdomyolysis would mean what? Rhabdo is telling you the type of muscle. So it's a destruction of striated muscle. So if you fall on the ground and lay there long enough, your muscles will tend to break down and you will have destruction of muscle cells. It can lead to kidney disease. We have some drugs that cause this. It can cause acute renal failure. Somato refers to body. So somatology, the study of the body, somatization, you're taking things and making them a body complaint. Somatic, again, referring to the body. Saccharide is a sugar. Let's encounter these in nutrition. So monosaccharide would be what?
Sugar.
So glucose is a monosaccharide. Disaccharides would be what? Two sugar molecules put together. Can you give me an example of a disaccharide? Pardon? Galactose. Remember what galactose is? Glucose and what? It's the milk sugar, so it's glucose and lactose, I think. Could be wrong. I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Okay. Here are the colors. These are fun. They're usually pretty easy. Most of them you've had some experience with or exposure to. Chloro meaning green, like the chlorophyll. We don't have that many medical terms that are related to green. A few, they're more unusual. You'll tend to see chlor more referring to chloride in lab, and we'll see that. So again, it will be contextual, whether you're looking at an element or you're looking at a color. Chromo or chromatome is color, just a generic term. Cyano would be blue. Cyanosis, cyanotic, blue appearance usually to the skin. Erythro, you're familiar with erythrocytes, the red blood cells. Leuco is the word for white. So leukocytes, leukorrhea, a white flow or discharge. Melano, black. Melanoma, black tumor. Xantho is yellow. EO is, so if you've done biology or any of the biologic sciences, you probably had to stain cells, so you can have cells that are acidic will attract red dyes usually, and basophils will, or basophilic type of tissues will tend to attract a more base stain. So we use these, certain white blood cells will take up certain dyes, so we name them after that instead of their function. Okay, so let's look at these.
Can I ask you a question before we move
Yes.
on? Like for red, like erythema takes off the R at the end. Like when do you do that and why? Yeah. ERYTHEMA.
No, I don't know of a rule to tell you to guide it.
Okay.
Usually that R is going to be so it's combining form. Usually you've got that vowel that you need a connection with it. It's more goes to language than it does to any other rule that I can tell you. Kind of like English, that you have a rule and then some word breaks it. We're going to go through these pictures, then we're going to take a break. my pattern is I always start on the hour. That's the way we have decided here. People float all over the place with that. I start on the hour and I will give you a break at 10 till. Or I'll warn you, okay? So if I'm in hour blocks, that's the way I run it, so that you will always know. Okay, let's run through these before we take a break. Okay, so this one would give you what word term or color term would we use? Does that not show up?
No.
In presentation mode, you don't see the mouse moving? Ah, well, crud.
There's
Okay.
a stick somewhere.
Or I think the laser works.
The laser, but I have to come out of here, let's see.
No, on the screen. It just absorbs
There's
it.
the stick. Of course, I'm so short, I don't know if I can get up there. Okay, so that top one with the fingers, what would we use, term would we use to describe that? Cyanotic, cyanosis. What about this cell here on the
Leukocyte?
leukocyte? What about that baby around the mouth? It's cyanosis. It's a bluish tint to skin. What term would we use here?
Erythrocyte?
Can you not see the bluish around the?
It looks like,
Now that you mention
it's
it.
so red, that it kinda, it's like more purpley.
It shows up better on this screen. Well, I'm sorry about that. What about this one? Melanoma, so the black. What about these?
Lipo?
So this is a growth,
No.
and what color is it?
Oh, yellow.
What color was it?
Yellow.
So it's a xanthoma. That's a xanthoma. They
Got
cholesterol deposits around the eye, fairly common. Don't know why I did that. But I will figure it out over break. I'll show you the other two after we break. So let's take a 10-minute break and come back on the hour.
Really not trying to interrupt. Mild respiratory issues.
No, it was also been tabled.
Ah, that's good.